Hola, hola, first grade artists. We are going to start our fall reflections in a landscape. But first, we're going to talk about different types of trees. So the types of trees that we're going to be working with, you may have seen out in nature. You may even have some in your yard or around you in the woods or something like that. Deciduous trees are the first kind that we're going to look at. And it says deciduous trees. That's a crazy word, isn't it? They lose their leaves at the end of their growing season. So this occurs in the fall in temperate deciduous forests and in the dry season in tropical, subtropical deciduous forests. The word deciduous, that crazy word, is from a Latin word that means to fall off. So, in the fall, deciduous trees' leaves fall off. So that's how I kind of remember fall leaves falling off. You may have to rake them up if they fall too many in your yard. But you can see in these pictures that they change colors before they fall as well. So some of those green leaves turn a nice warm yellow, a nice warm orange, a nice warm red. They kind of blend together sometimes and make brown or a reddish green, and then they fall to the ground. And actually in this one here, you see a nice reflection in the water, and that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to create a forest near the water with reflection. Anywho, the other kind of trees are called conifer trees, and conifers are a type of tree or shrub such as pine trees, fir trees. They have a fruit on them called a pine cone. And very thin leaves called needles, which they do not normally lose in the winter. So conifer trees have these little needles. Maybe you've seen a Christmas tree or had a real Christmas tree, and sometimes they shed their needles. But those needles stay green, don't they? So they don't change colors. They don't typically fall off, and they create cones. So if you've ever seen a pine cone, that comes from a conifer tree, not a deciduous tree. So we're trying to learn the difference, the compare and contrast of deciduous and conifer. So they compare because they're both trees. They're both natural. They're found in nature. They have roots in the ground. They grow. They're alive. But deciduous trees can turn color. They can lose their leaves, so they fall in the fall. And then conifers, they got the needles, they got the pine cones. So when you're out in nature, maybe you do a little nature hike or walk with the fam, I want you to take a look and see if you can find and point out different deciduous trees and different conifer trees that might even be in your yard. So take a peek. Moving on. Fall reflections. You're going to watch the instructional video after this one, but we're going to do some printing with oil pastels. We're going to add some texture. So when you do go outside and look at trees, maybe feel the bark of the tree. What is that texture? What it feels like? Is it rough? Is it smooth? Is it brittle? Is the bark falling off? You can kind of experiment and explore in nature like a scientist and artist combination, because like I always say, art combines all the other subjects. So artists need to be scientists and mathematicians and readers and writers and historians all in one. So check out the bark and texture. Then we are going to sponge paint and also paint with brushes. And you can kind of tell the difference here between deciduous and conifer trees. And it'll all make more sense in the demonstración as well. And then we will finish with a little watercolor painting too. So compare and contrast deciduous versus conifer. New vocab words for you. I know they're a little crazy, but deciduous, their leaves turn colors and fall off. Conifers have needles and cones. So conifer, it starts with C-O-N, and so does cone. Conifers have cones. Deciduous fall off. So enjoy your time in nature. Enjoy your art process as well. And keep up the good work. Adios, amigos.